to my channel. So today I'm going to be talking about our birth story, so I'm going to jump right into it. So I woke up at 3 a.m. to contractions, and I started timing them right away, and they were 1 minute apart. And so I was thinking in my head, I'm like, because my midwife told me to call her when it was 5 minutes apart. And I'm like, does it increase? Like, when it increases, does that mean labor's progressing? But it turns out I had been most likely laboring while I was sleeping, or having contractions while I was sleeping, and just slept through them a little bit. So anyways, by the time I woke up, it was already 1 minute apart contractions, which was like crazy. So I called my midwife. I was just in bed for like an hour. I didn't even wake up Dennis or anything. Just peacefully in bed. I was just timing my own contractions for 1 hour. Just like powering through it by myself. And so then I woke up Dennis. And he's like, oh my gosh, like, is it happening? Stuff. I'm like, I don't know. Because a couple days before we had like a little false alarm thing. We didn't go, we didn't call the midwife or anything. It wasn't to that extent, but I got a couple contractions and we were wondering, but it ended up being nothing. But anyways, so we called the midwife and I spoke with her on the phone, and she was like, thinking it wasn't that progressed because of how calm I was being on the phone. And she's like, okay, well, just go back to sleep. It's probably, not that far progressed right now. And so I was like, okay, yeah, sounds good. I'll do that. And I was like packing up food and like finishing up last minute things in the hospital bag, even though we weren't going to hospital, we were going to a birthing center. So anyways, I was just doing that. So then like there was no way I was going to be able to sleep. It was just like my contractions were so strong. But it wasn't like intolerable. Like I was, dealing with it. It was nothing, like I said, nothing unbearable. And so the urge to push was just getting so strong. And like I ended up throwing up just because like that urge to push is just pretty intense. So then we called the midwife back, and because she said like, oh, like unless you're like throwing up or something, it doesn't seem like, it's progressing that much. And so we called her back and we're like, okay, like I just threw up, like the contractions are getting pretty strong, this and that. And she's like, okay, meet me there at 7. And so that we still had like maybe like 30 minutes or an hour. It's kind of a blur, but so I labored a bit more at home. And simultaneously while all of this is happening, we had a hypno babies playing in the background, and which was super helpful. And then simultaneously I was drinking a lot of water. The midwife told me to stay hydrated during labor, so I was definitely doing that. And so then on the drive to the birthing center, side note, before we left the house, I just kept feeling like I need to push, like random, but like I wanted to keep sitting on the toilet. Like I'm like, I just need to sit on the toilet and like push. It was so weird, like very interesting feeling. So anyways, we're going to the birthing center. It's about a 30-minute drive. We listened to the hypno babies in the car as well, which was super relaxing. We get there, and then the midwife checks me, and she's like, okay, like you could have baby anytime now. And I didn't want to ask. I was like, in my head, I'm like, does that mean like within a minute? Does that mean like 3 hours? Like I didn't know what she meant by that, and I was afraid to ask in case it was longer than what I was kind of thinking. So I didn't know. She said I could have the baby at any time. She never told me I'm fully dilated or any like, she never gave me centimeters amount or anything. She just said you could have baby at any time. So we left that room and went to the birthing room, And I thought it'd be nice to have a water birth, but apparently I was already too progressed, like, to even deal with that, essentially, because she doesn't like the baby to be born into the water, I think, only for laboring, because, like, she wants to be able to tell how much blood was lost and stuff, so it kind of makes it difficult in water. So anyways, but that was fine. So it's at 7 o'clock. So I labored for about 2 hours at the birthing center because I gave birth to Ellie at, it was 9:12, 9:12 when she was born. So yeah, I just went back, just pushing, which I know some people just kind of like breathe baby out, and I thought that's what I would do, but the midwife was kind of instructing me to push a bit. So I was doing that, and she, towards the end, like right before Ellie was born, she was telling me to try to push twice on one contraction. And you might think like, oh, it's easy, you just push twice on one contraction. But it took so much energy. I don't know why. Like, so anyways, I did that, and it must be a super effective method or something, because that was like really helping to get her out. I think my labor could have been a little bit longer. I think like the midwife kind of like was making it for some reason go like pretty fast. And maybe, I don't know, I'm curious what would happen if I like breathed baby out more instead of pushing. I don't know, I'll have to research that a little bit more before my next, before I give birth again. But everything went really well. I'm very grateful. So then after Allie was born, we didn't know, guys, if the baby was gonna be a boy or girl. We kept it a surprise, and baby was born and everything, and I wasn't even thinking about the gender. I was just like, oh my gosh, like, I love this baby. And my mom was actually the one that was like, okay, so is the baby a boy or girl? And then I just knew in my head that it was gonna be a boy, that the baby was gonna be a boy. And so, like, the midwife kind of showed me the baby, and I saw like it was the girl, and I was like, no way. Like, I didn't even believe it. I was just like, wow. Like, I just thought for sure the baby was gonna be a boy. So anyways, that was pretty cool. And so yeah, and then like just placed her on my chest, and breastfed her. And so that was super special. Dennis just couldn't believe it. He was so happy, and I think we all teared up a bit just because it was so precious. So yeah, definitely awesome. And then I still had to pass the placenta. And so if you want to have just like a 100% happy birth stories, maybe stop here. But what I'm gonna say isn't even that bad. But if you want just like happy stories and stuff, maybe just stop here. Yeah, like that was probably the hardest part, was delivering the placenta, because like I had just delivered a baby, and then for something else to go through was like, oh my gosh, like come on. So yeah, that's probably the first thing that hurt. Like, so the contractions, it just was like a funny feeling. Like, it didn't really hurt, it was just kind of like interesting. And then the baby being born didn't really hurt because like your adrenaline and endorphins, and I'm sure there's like some hormones, I think oxytocin and stuff, and then just like the excitement, it just like, and then the baby also works, like helps you like twist its head and like all this. So it didn't hurt, like honestly, like giving birth to the baby like didn't hurt. It's so strange, but it didn't. but delivering the placenta, like, and the way it kind of happened, it kind of like popped out all at once, and that did hurt. Again, not totally unbearable, but whew, that did hurt. And then I think honestly that's why I ended up tearing. I did tear a little bit. I'm pretty sure it was from the placenta. Um, because like the midwife was saying like I kind of need to deliver it fast because like she put on like a 45-minute timer, and it's like if the placenta's not delivered by then like they would need to call like, you know, the ambulance, I guess, because like I guess it could mean something, I'm not sure. So anyways, like I guess the time was getting close to that, and so she was like trying to make it come out pretty fast. And then towards the end, like I was having to cough to like get the rest out. I guess there's more parts of the placenta or something, I'm not sure. So that was all pretty interesting. And then after that, she let the baby like breastfeed quite a bit because I did tear, so she was gonna have to inject me down there. Yes, guys, with not Novocaine, lidocaine. The same thing they use yeah, on teeth. Um, so yeah, I got, and then after the baby breastfed for a little bit, I got a shot of lidocaine down there. She stitched me up. She did like two, I can't explain it, but like the muscle and then the skin, like so two different, I don't know how, I don't even know what it looked like down there, so I still don't know to this day like what exactly she did. And so yeah, and then I just got to relax with baby and whatnot, and we stayed there for maybe like 3 more hours or something, just um, while I kind of regrouped and everything. And yeah, I'm trying to think if I'm missing anything. That's why I keep looking around, because I'm like trying to think if I'm missing anything. But yeah, so pretty much my contractions started at 3 a.m. I just like powered through 1 minute apart contractions by myself, didn't wake anybody up till 4 a.m. 4 a.m. I woke Denison up, we called the midwife, essentially through calling her a couple times and me like just having this huge urge to push. I would like sit on the toilet sometimes just because like that would feel natural, like when you have that urge to push, you're just like, where's the toilet? So anyways, yeah, and then got to the birthing center at 7, and then she checked me. She said I could have baby at any time, a little bit more pushing and whatnot. Baby Ellie was born at 9:12, and then I delivered the placenta and got stitched up, and then we hung out for like about 3 or so hours. Um, but yeah, and I guess a group of ladies like knits blankets and gives them to this birthing center. So I got to pick out my color little blanket. I picked out a pink one because we didn't have any like pink stuff because we got all like kind of gender neutral stuff. So I'm like, pink. It's like one of the first pink things she have. So yeah, it was all super fun and everything went very smoothly. Thank the Lord. I prayed about it to be super calm and peaceful and natural and safe, and that's exactly what it was. And so I'm so fortunate about that, and I'm so blessed with a beautiful daughter, and my husband Dennis and I just love her, and she's the biggest blessing in our life. And let me know if you have any questions, if there's anything I didn't touch on. You know, I was in like a hypnotic state for most of it, because I did, you know, hypno babies. So yeah, I would be curious to see like my husband's point of view on it. But yeah, so that's my version of the story. My mom was also there with me the whole time, at the house. we woke her up about 4:30 or so, and then she was in the room the whole time when I was giving birth. So yeah, that's all I can think of. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments. I can answer some questions. And yeah, it was 100% natural. I wouldn't change it for the world. It was a really awesome experience. And if you're questioning, like, oh, should I have a natural birth? I would say give it a shot. I mean, like, women were made to do this, you know, our bodies can handle it. Alright, so I will see you in the next video. Bye, guys.